Come on, let's get nuts.
Let's get nutty. Welcome to Film Junkee, not so live. What's happening, everybody? Good to see ya. Hopefully you guys are doing good. It is Wednesday, it's hump day. Let's get the hump in. Yes, this is Film Junkee, not so live. I might be interacting in the live chat, probably not. But what I want you guys to do, who are in the live chat, well, you guys have already kind of did it because I told you that it was Mama Film Junkee's birthday. But it's her official birthday today, and we're out to dinner, taking her out to dinner. You know, we did the whole celebration with the family and everything. Now it's just, us, small thing, taking her out to dinner and whatnot. So wish her happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mama Film Junkee. Happy birthday to you. Yes. Yay. So yeah, wish her a happy birthday. Today's officially her birthday, and like I said, we celebrated in Laughlin over the weekend, and it was great. And so I might not be really interacting in the chat so much like I used to, but hey, I'll try to write a message or two or something like that in there. But thanks guys for tuning in, of course. Hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got some things to talk about. Not too much. Obviously we have some DC things that we're going to be talking about, mainly the chonies. And more Spider-Man set stuff that looks really, really cool. Everybody was like raving about, of course. And then we got not one, but two movies coming out this weekend that we'll be talking about those reviews. And, maybe talk about, let's see, pick which one's going to win the box office. I think we already know which one's going to win the box office. Freakier Friday probably will over Weapons, even though I'm seeing Weapons. Cannot wait. Going to see it tomorrow. And then Mr. Chris Hemsworth, Thor's hammer. He posted something not too long ago when it came to his journey being Thor. And a lot of people kind of took it as something, and it was kind of ridiculous, but he clarified, he clarified what he actually meant. So we're going to look at his message right there. Like I said, kind of a slow couple of days. Anyways, guys, all right. Let's get to the tweets. Right here, and this little meme right here. I mean, I love following this account called Retro Toys and Cartoons because this image right here, and I think in the Nicolas Cage movie, the something talent of whatever, the Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal movie, that was pretty damn hilarious, and I would suggest everybody see it. I think he actually had these displayed, but I mean, this caption right here for this, one of the most iconic shots of the 90s. I mean, yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely it is. And like I said, I'm sure there's somewhere out there, I could probably pull it up on Amazon and find some kind of, obviously a mock-up, a little plastic thing or whatever the hell. But I tell you what, I do plan on having that displayed somewhere. That's going to be a collectible that I'm going to eventually have. I mean, it is kind of crazy nowadays that, when you were a kid, you went, oh my God, it would be cool to have that. Now you can. Like I have a sports almanac from Back to the Future 2. I have the hat. I wanted the hat so badly. when I was a kid, and they didn't have the hat. I remember getting a hat from the Excalibur in Las Vegas when we visited a long time ago, and there was a hat that looked like that looked similar to it, that I was like, I gotta have, because it's like the Back to the Future 2 hat. I just thought it was cool. Now I actually have the hat, which is funny. Yeah, it's not, it's obviously it's not exactly like it, and you can't really wear it. It's really tough and everything, but the fact that I actually do have the hat and the sports almanac, and just other things too, and I got the fucking Loki from the mask Loki mask right there too. I wanted that when I was a kid. I remember creating one at a cardboard because I wanted to have it. It's just, now that you could have this stuff, it's just weird that you could actually have the stuff. I have the time circuits on my desk. That's what's so crazy. It's like you could just have these little things because you just go find them. It's fun. But I eventually want to get those, and I'm sure there's a link out there. There's already something out there that you could probably get that. Anyways, Frank Castle John Bernthal, the Punisher. That's right, the special is being shot right now. And then John Bernthal is also going to be shooting Spider-Man Brand New Day because it is confirmed that he will show up in that movie as well. Kind of interesting like how big his role is. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty significant role announcing it like that. Hopefully it's more than that Mark Ruffalo guy. But I'm just saying, it's fine. I mean, if there's a little bit of Hulk in there, a little actual Rage Hulk, that'd be pretty cool. But Frank Castle got some new fatigues. He's got a new, we've been raving about Tom Holland's new Spider-Man costume. Hey, how about a new Punisher costume? And, I tell you what, man, that's just a badass. Hey, it's like he's posing. I'm telling you, Marvel Studios is just going, hey, yeah, set photos, yeah, pose. We're going to have professional photographers, and it looks like Bernthal is just posing right there. But yeah, look at that. Look at the skull. The skull looking great on his bulletproof vest, I'm assuming. And then, of course, just everything else looks good. But you know what really makes it? The beard. The beard game is strong. That's what's really making this right here, So there you go. We get a new Spidey costume, then we get the new Punisher. So I was like, fitting to wear this shirt today. That's for damn sure. But yeah, he's looking pretty good, but looking pretty angry. But the beard is what's making it. So, okay, and this is funny. Let's go! SUPES! We all know who SUPES is, right? He's got very large hands. But I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm just saying. It's funny when people realize, dude, the dude's got some fucking paws. It's like, yeah, he does. It's just, that's part of his genetics and everything. Okay, so SUPES kind of gotten a little backlash lately, and as well as he should. He really should, because when of course with Tom Holland's new Spider-Man costume, the suit and everything going out there, and everything just like all the new set photos and everything, he commented on something and said, "Our Spider-Man." And then people started bringing up when he went on some annoying podcast where he said Tom was a bad Spider-Man, or like Spider-Man Homecoming was not a good Spider-Man film, and even made a video called 5 Reasons Tom is the Worst Spider-Man. So people started bringing that up, and there was a lot of backlash. And then it was funny right here too, because I have this screenshot that, it's like he posted a tweet. He basically said, "I've never once said Tom is a bad Spider-Man. Not only did I say No Way Home was the greatest movie of all time when it came out, but I also defended it when a lot of people switched up on it. It still is one of my favorite movies ever. My opinion has always been Homecoming," and then there was more to it. But it's funny because that first sentence said, "I've never once said Tom is a bad Spider-Man." And then just look at the fucking screenshot. Look at everything. First off, somebody posted a video where it says 5 Reasons Tom is the Worst Spider-Man. And then the community note that literally just says, "He's lying." Jesus. 100% that. Hilarious. And it's funny, too, because he did do a follow-up video, and he did kind of clarify some things. But the fact of the matter is, I met the guy. You could sense the dude is not authentic, all right? Maybe sometimes he is, but most of the time he isn't. Most of the time he's getting paid to say a lot of things. I'll see him in ads for movies, and he does not come off authentic, all right? And then, of course, there was some backlash with some of his ex-partners who've called him out, who said he's got rage issues, which I totally believe that, because he's just trying to keep his brand going. He's all brand, and trying to keep his brand going. The reason why I don't like him, and I've met him. I met him at the Rebel Moon premiere, and of course, he just acted fake then too, and I shook his big hands. Sorry, I don't mean to do that, but I'm just saying, doesn't come off as authentic at all. "Oh yeah, I follow you on Twitter." Well, yeah, the reason why you followed me on Twitter is because you got in my DMs because you were trying to get a screener for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I was the guy to get it for. And I helped him get it because I was like, you know what? He's got a name for himself and do it like that. And then I even after that, I was like, "Hey man, if you want to come on the Vox stream and have a chat and stuff like that." And of course, never got a response, because that's the only reason why he hit me up, was to get the screener for Zack Snyder's Justice League, to get hooked up with that. Because obviously, I had the connections to do that. But it was fine because, again, like I said, it's like, yeah, even though I think he's not authentic at all, he still has a reach. So obviously when you want to promote some stuff, obviously that's why a lot of these, studios and stuff go to that. But yeah, if I ever see a review from him, I'm just like, yeah, I scroll. I'm not going to believe anything you say, but hey. He's built his brand though, so good on him. Good on him. Oh, this is a sexy picture right there. You want to see some Batman or Batmobile porn right here? I mean, obviously, if you go to the Warner Brothers tour, you could see the various cinematic Batmobiles, but you don't get to see the Arkham video game Batmobile just displayed. And look at that. Look at that thing. Oh, that's sexy. It's funny, too, because like the Batfleck Batmobile kind of has a similar-ish design. Obviously, the front wheels aren't as spread out like that, of course, but there is a similarity to the Batfleck Batmobile, I would say. But yeah, that's just, you see that shot and you go, that's pretty freaking sweet. I'm not even sure where that's at. It's somewhere. I don't know. Spider-Punk in the last, across the Spider-Verse? Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. Sequel, obviously. Spider-Punk, of course, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. You guys know I'm so bad with, pronouncing names. But he kind of was a scene stealer in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. A little bit of a scene stealer. And obviously, we're kind of worried about Beyond the Spider-Verse because that was actually supposed to already come out. They've been pushing this thing and delaying this thing, which good for the most part because it is animation and you want to be able to have the animators work on it in a good amount of time where they're not working 24/7. So hopefully everything's going to turn out great. But now, guess what's happening? Spider-Punk animated feature from also Daniel's actually going to be doing that, and Ajon Singh in development at Sony. So there you go. Why not? Hey, keep the Spider-Verse stuff going. I mean, it seems like now that Spider-Man Brand New Day, I mean, I think there's going to be, since it's kind of interesting because it obviously we got Across the Spider-Verse, but when did that come out? 2 years ago? I forgot exactly when it came out, but it came out like 2 years ago, right? I'm trying to remember my timelines here, but it just seems like, hey, with Madam Web and, Craven, Morbius, man, dark times when it comes to Spider-Man lore. Obviously, now we're going to be having Spider-Man Noir, we're going to have Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then, of course, Beyond's going to be coming out, as well as this in development. And then Spider-Man's going to be part of Avengers and stuff like that. So we're going to have, we took like a little downtick when it came to Spider-Man lore, when it came to the villain movies. Now we're going to be coming back up with everything when it comes to Spider-Man. And we're going to have plenty of Spider-Man to eat. So we're going to be feasting on Spider-Man for probably the next 5 years, which is really good for anybody who's a Spider-Man fan. Can't complain. Really can't complain. And then, yes, guys, there was a campaign that happened yesterday. I kind of talked about it. I talked about it on Monday's show that there was going to be a campaign. And DC Film News right here, they had a nice little mashup, a little edit and mashup right here, because it had to do with, of course, a campaign to release the Schumacher cut and release the Ayer cut. And, of course, people are posting things and everything. I don't really take part in, the campaigns anymore. I've never been, I was never huge on it. I mean, when it came to release the Snyder cut, I mean, I used that, but then there even came a point where I was like, we have to do more than just hashtags, and of course people came at me because that's all they did was just beat their keyboards, and I was like, we got to do other things, and I did this stupid thing and went to D23 with a sign. Me and a buddy of mine did that. That was interesting, and we recorded it. You could find it on the channel, by the way. You could find that video on the channel. And it was interesting because it was like, okay, we're at D23 with a release of Snyder Cut picket sign. That was back in what? 2020? 2019? It was pre-pandemic, so it had to be 2019, maybe 2018. I don't know. It was a while ago. It was fun, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, very interesting. But, obviously, still hashtags. Now we got a new hashtag, which is hashtag Open the Vaults. That was part of this campaign that happened yesterday, and cool. Like I said, I'll give my opinions when it comes to the hashtags and stuff and both. But DC Films, they did this right here. So I'm not gonna. So obviously we know this scene right here of Diablo, and we have Deadshot, obviously like pushing him, and then he's just gonna be like, oh yeah, do the fire. And look at that edit right there, right with Batman Forever when the fire goes right there, and he turns on his little fire retardant, whatever the hell, did I say that right? I don't even think I did. But yeah, it's just, he turns that on and then comes running through the fire, and it's just pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And then there's Margot Robbie right there, and then they put the, open the vaults. And that was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet. It was a good little edit and little mashup right there. So, but, my thing about the whole thing, and that was the only thing I really tweeted, and I tweeted both hashtags, but I'm just, and there's people that want me to tweet, oh, you got to follow me, tweet. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I'm not going to do that. I've never been one to spam my Twitter to just be like hashtag, and I'm like, I don't do that. I mean, obviously there was a certain day when it came to release the Snyder Cut when like Gal and Ray Fisher and Ben Affleck and even Zach, there was a day that, it was like, push that shit. And then when it even came to restore the Snyderverse, I was even like, I took part of that too, and it got to 1.5 million or whatever. Yeah, it was like 1.5 million because it was just like, oh yeah, let's show that, after Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, it's like, yeah, you guys fucked up. It was a message saying you guys fucked up. You should have continued and everything, and totally understand. And when it comes to hashtags, do whatever hashtags you want. It's just funny when I see like some of the people who do not like me and show up and cry in my mentions or come at me in my mentions, and I click on the thing and they have like 17 hashtags, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. But so when it comes to the Schumacher cut and the Ayer cut, I mean, first off, what sucks about now with the Ayer cut, there's more controversy now because Jared Leto, I mean, yeah, there was 6 allegations that came out recently, and it was kind of funny when that came out. A lot of people were passing around the James Gunn tweet when he said, does he start at 18 when it comes to, going for the ladies? James Gunn does not like Jared Leto. So there's an issue right there, and it's kind of like a little bit of an issue. I'm sure, like, he has no issues with David Ayer and whatnot, but that's the bad part. It's like when I see people going like, there's so much more Jared Leto, I'm like, that's not a good way to sell it. It's not a good way to sell it. I mean, obviously, we haven't really heard anything else when it comes to those allegations. Again, who knows? Maybe it got settled out of court, or maybe it was just all BS. There's no way to know. But at the same time, when those allegations came out, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, when it comes to Ayer cut stuff and people are going to be promoting that, I mean, essentially anybody who's really hardcore doing that, it's just, don't even listen. Don't even listen. Those same allegations came out about anybody who's involved with Superman, or if it was James Gunn, oh, they would be singing every day. Singing. Oh, they would be just nonstop. But of course, Jared Leto, yeah, that's the thing. It's just, it's just the way it is. The bias is real. People are hypocrites. But yeah, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Now, the Schumacher cut has more, as it could come out a lot easier, even though it should have came out this year because of 30 years. It would have been perfect, 30-year anniversary. But they could do, they could do 35, maybe in 5 years. It's just kind of interesting because it wouldn't take much more to obviously you have to restore the footage and put it back in there and make sure it looks all pretty. But, and I know Akiva Goldsmith, whatever, the producer, he was very much actively trying to get that, and he thought he was getting some footing, but now with everything when it comes to DC Studios. But the thing is, what I keep reminding people too, that keep on going after James Gunn, it's like he doesn't really have a say. James Gunn doesn't have a say. James Gunn runs DC Studios. These are not DC Studios movies. I wish people would get that through their brains, that these are DC Studios movies. It's all up to Warner Brothers. These are Warner Brothers films, okay? James Gunn has no control over what Warner Brothers releases. He's just got control of what DC Studios releases, okay? We didn't see the Warner Brothers logo in front of Superman. It was strictly DC Studios. So he has no control over that. And then, of course, money was spent to have those rolling billboards show up in front of Warner Brothers and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, cool, fine. Sometimes I just think that money could be, thrown somewhere else. But hey, but yeah, that was that and everything. But yeah, I'll tweet like one thing and that's it. I'm not gonna sit there and spam my fucking timeline all day with that stuff. Sorry. And neither is like, DC Films. They only did that one tweet. So even Jesus, when it comes to a franchise, Jesus is now going to be a franchise movie. It's going to be a trilogy. You know how when it comes to franchise movies, when you have like a finale, when you have something, you're going to have like hey, we're going to have a part 1 and part 2. You're essentially going to have, you're going to have an Infinity War and Endgame. It happened with the Twilight franchise. I think it happened with Hunger Games and Harry Potter. You just kind of divide it up. It was supposed to happen with Justice League. They were going to divide that up, part 2, part 3. And, that's what happens. You have a big story you want to tell, so you got to divide it up. We're going to be having that with Doomsday and Secret Wars. We're also going to be having that for The Passion of the Christ 2 and now 3. Resurrection of the Christ, of course. Part 1 coming out in 2027, and then also a couple months later, part 2. So it's going to be a long-ass freaking movie. So there you go. And of course, that's supposed to be filming sometime soon. So yes, this is for all the Christians out there. This is your event. This is how we feel about like Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, and this is how we're going to be feeling about when it comes to Doomsday and Secret Wars. This is how we feel now. Welcome. This is how we feel. This is why that's our religion, because it is for a lot of people, and but this is actual religion. So there you go. Resurrection of the Christ. Okay, so I don't have an issue with Pedro Pascal. I like Pedro Pascal. I really do. The first time I saw Pedro Pascal was The Great Wall. Remember that movie? Oh, it was a bad movie. Yeah, that's right. The Great Wall that starred Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal. I forgot who some of the others were, but it had to do with like Matt Damon was an archer, and they were going to protect the wall, and there was like a whole little mystic like fantasy element and whatever the hell, dragons and whatnot. It's not really a great movie, not really a great movie at all, but that was the first time, oh, that's Pedro Pascal. He was like the supporting character, and I was like, you know what, I like this guy. And then all of a sudden he just grew, and now he's blown up. He's blown up, but at the same time, now that he's blown up so much, I'm like, can we reel it in a little bit? Can we reel it in? I still like the guy, but I don't want to end up like hating him because God damn, it just seems like he's in such high demand. He must have just a pile of scripts show up on his doorstep like every day because everybody wants him. And there's a movie coming out this weekend where apparently he was actually cast for it, but then had to turn it down. And that, of course, is Weapons. Zach Krager says when Pedro Pascal dropped out of Weapons, he had to recast the entire movie. I had a whole different cast for this movie, and then we had the strike, and then Pedro Pascal's schedule threw us into turmoil. When you delay, people's schedules get conflicts, and then you're back to square one. I bear no ill towards anybody. We just kept getting delayed and delayed. It's like a domino effect, so I had to start over again. So the strikes really screwed him over. But yeah, Pedro Pascal essentially was going to be playing the Josh Brolin character. And yeah, when you obviously cast a dad figure, now you got to, adjust some of that. But I'm kind of wondering, like, he's talking about the whole adjusting of everything. I'm just saying, let's relax on Pedro Pascal a little bit. Let's just pump the brakes. Everyone's going to start. Remember that video where that one guy went to the movie theater and there's like 3 posters of Pedro Pascal on the freaking wall? It's just getting a little too much. That's all. It's like, I think there is, they talk about superhero fatigue. There's a little bit of Pedro Pascal fatigue. All right? Just a little bit. Where's my pen? I dropped this pen so many times. I do. It happens, don't worry. And we got Alex Ross right here. Alex Ross. Obviously, Alex Ross, anytime there's like a live action thing that goes on, it seems like when it comes to posters and everything, Alex Ross gets, it's always inspired. And even though that when it comes to the new Spider-Man images and everything that's happening with that. There's no official things. I'm just kind of wondering. Maybe they'll lean into some Alex Ross. But yeah, so we have this right here that he posted this on his Twitter because, that shot of Tom Holland right there does look like that. I even talked about that on Monday. And then, of course, with Superman being out and very much that poster of Superman is of course, inspired. You could tell that there was like an inspiration from an Alex Ross in there. And I think, even James Gunn talked about how there was inspiration right there, too. Of course, there's going to be people who didn't like Superman and of course, hate the new suits. They're like, nope, what are you talking about, man? It's just, like, ridiculous. I love it when people, like, come after legendary, like, iconic illustrators, people who are doing way better than you are. They're going to just, like, respond with that because they hate the new Superman or whatever the hell. Or it's like, no, it's called inspiration, okay? And it's been confirmed like that. Relax, all right? Just sit this one out, okay? Because you sound like a fucking asshole when you do that, okay? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. And then it's finally happening, guys. Hulu is going to be no more. That's right. We're never going to, I don't know if we're going to be hearing the Hulu name or what, but the Disney machine. The Disney machine is swallowing up Hulu, and here we go. Hulu will be fully integrated into Disney Plus in 2026. The standalone Hulu app will be shut down. Womp womp. I like this right here. Here's the new logo. DLulu Plus. DLulu Plus. It's pretty funny. Saw that. But yeah, there you go. I mean, it's already kind of happened. But yeah, they'll just have a section that'll probably still say Hulu, but it was bound to happen. It's just weird. Does it seem weird when you're like, I'm gonna go find a movie, and then you're like, let's find an adult R-rated movie. Let's find like an action graphic movie, like gory movie or something like that. Let's search Disney Plus. It just seems weird. It's the brand. Because you think Disney, I'm gonna go on the Disney Plus app, you're gonna find family-friendly content. Not anymore. You're actually gonna go in. I don't know. It's all just getting crazy. It's going to swallow up HBO. It's going to swallow up Warner Brothers. It's going to do all this shit. I don't know. It's just weird. To me, it's just weird. Noob Saibot. Saibot? Probably can go either way. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a Mortal Kombat character. A Mortal Kombat character that was a secret character when it came to, I think, Mortal Kombat 3. Like I said, when it comes to me in Mortal Kombat, I played the first 4 Mortal Kombat games. The first 3 I played religiously. I played 4 a little bit. Before, that's when it changed. That's when it changed to, like, it wasn't just like the 2D anymore. It was like, oh, now we're getting to the 3D where now it's moving all around. Now it looks like Tekken, So I didn't really get into that all that much. I didn't get into, I got into Mortal Kombat 4 a little bit, but I didn't get to the new ones. I've watched some clips and seen some stuff, but I didn't really get into, now we're like Mortal Kombat 11 and everything. But I do like the fact that, hey, there's some familiar faces that are showing up in the new Mortal Kombat movie. And we got our first look at Noob Saibot, who was, he was a secret character, I think, in Mortal Kombat 3. And there's a close-up look at that. Holy shit. I think you actually briefly see him in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. But goddamn. That looks pretty damn sweet. I'm telling you, I think this Mortal Kombat 2 movie might correct things from the first one. I think it might. I think it actually might. Okay, and last thing before we get to it, because why not? Why not? So, we have Heroic Haven right here on Twitter, and a lot of people responded to this tweet that they post right here. Obviously, when it comes to Twitter, you can just really post 4 images. So they decided to, hey, it's like a community post for Marvel and DC. And I saw it. I went, you know what? Of course. Let me just answer this one. But it's kind of interesting seeing the responses and everything. But they asked right here, which character would you bring back for a standalone movie? Of course, Batfleck. Steve Rogers, of course, Captain America, Chris Evans, Henry Cavill, Superman, and then, of course, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. All great choices to bring back. You guys know which one I picked, right? I think you. I mean, that's the guy right there. Of course. I would love to bring back Ben Affleck for that solo Batman movie. Because, yeah, that thing was going to be badass and going to be very interesting with all the details that we would have gotten. Now, of course, there's chuckleheads out there that think it's still going to happen. It's not. Hopefully it could happen in another medium, but it's not going to happen in live action anymore unless something crazy does happen, and maybe, something, Ben Affleck and then Elseworlds, they could do something like that. But I mean, I tell you what, there's a whole Twitter account online that does not like me, who has issues. I've seen the tweets that it's just that their whole brand is to try to get that, and it's like, no. Sorry. And it's so funny too, because I saw a poster today. It was pretty hilarious. I actually saw a poster today that was some account, obviously a diehard Snyderverse account, was saying that, it was talking about the Batman, and the Batman should have been, the Ben Affleck Batman, which, yeah, it should have been. It was supposed to be initially. And then it was an entire poster with all these characters in the Snyderverse-esque. Some of it was, some of it wasn't. Some of it was post-Snyderverse, was slightly Snyderverse. But it's so funny because they had all these characters, and someone quote tweeted and was like, these are the same people that said there's too many characters in Superman. It's like, well done. Because when it's something they like, they don't care if there's multiple characters. Obviously, multiple characters in a Batfleck movie, which there would have been. There probably would have been maybe there would have been Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Maybe there would have been Jared Leto's Joker. Of course, there was going to be Deathstroke. There was going to be a Batgirl. But, it just, who knows, who else would have ended up showing up in there. It would have been perfectly fine to have multiple DC characters in that movie. But, James Gunn, Superman, way too many. What the fuck you doing? It's just one of those things. But at the same time, the same people that were crying for BVS, I'm like, fuck off. They're supporting characters. It's just the way it is. That's the way it should be. It's a good way to play it, to be honest. And then, obviously, if I were to put these in order, I would say Batfleck first. I would say Andrew Garfield second. I would want to see another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man second. Get that going in there. Henry Cavill third. And then, of course, Chris Evans, Captain America. He's the only one that got to get his story finished. If you notice, he's the only one that got his story finished. He got to have a conclusion. So, sorry, Steve. All right, that's all the tweets right there. That's all the tweets. All right, let's go ahead and start looking at some things here. Sorry, my nose. I don't know what's going on in my nose. It's like, this happened on Monday, where I have a little sneeze. I think it's just because it's hot. We're going through a heat wave right now. We're going through a freaking heat wave. So, all right. So let's start with some DCU news. First off, we have My Adventures with Green Lantern that's going to be coming out. That's going to be following Jessica Cruz, of course. According to Night Edge Media, a casting call has reportedly gone out for Jessica Cruz. Jessica Cruz, age 14 to 15, is described as chronically anxious freshman who ends up being chosen by a magic ring to be the cosmic champion of life. The actor will also be required to sing. So they're going to be singing in this animated show. Going to be interesting. So, and then of course it was James Gunn's birthday yesterday. 59, man. If he didn't have the white hair and everything still, he's actually aged pretty damn well. He's actually aged pretty damn well. I was like, I would think that he would actually be in his 40s still, to be honest. But of course, now with the white hair and the white beard, maybe, I guess he was coloring his hair before, or it just turned white. I don't know. Speaking of James Gunn, his favorite character, Mr. Handsome. There's a little picture with those two. So that's cute. That's cute. And what else we got? Oh, yeah. And then, of course, there's a selfie with him and his Superman. David Cornsweat posted a selfie. Basically, he was like, happy belated birthday. He was a day late. He posted it today. But, he gave him props saying, how hard this man works. I mean, he does. I mean, James Gunn works very, very hard. He's a workaholic, you could tell. And, you know, trying to direct a movie as well as co-run a studio, not an easy task, that's for damn sure. But there they are right there. There's a little selfie of them. I guess that says last year. Yeah, a year ago. So, there's a little selfie with both of them. And there's some Peacemaker stuff. We don't have to really go over that. We got a new shot of David Cornsweet behind the scenes, and it's kind of interesting because it's pretty cool looking. It's not bad looking. I'm kind of going, I don't remember, I'm like going, I saw Superman 3 times. There wasn't really any night shots of Superman. I'm totally blanking. I mean, they're obviously in a pocket universe. It was dark and stuff, but I'm like going, was there any shots of him flying during the night? I saw the movie 3 times, and I'm going, Jesus Christ. Alzheimer's already kicking in? I guess so. But here's a shot of Cornsweet on some wires, and you got the night metropolis in the background. And I'm just kind of going, God damn, I am drawing a blank. I'm drawing a freaking blank, but that's a pretty cool looking shot right there. Obviously, with all the Spider-Man shots of seeing like Tom Holland like strapped to the cables and everything, it just seems like that technology has gotten so much better, where these actors can move around so much more fluid in these, like, you know, being suspended and everything. That's a really cool shot right there. Really cool shot. So that's about it when it comes to that. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, we got some more things. Well, you know, not too many. Oh yeah, we got another David Cornsweet behind the scenes being goofy. Yeah. Womp womp. So he's doing that. And let's see, is there anything else? There's like a Peacemaker thing. Okay. Oh, we have James Gunn. James Gunn recommending top 10 books that he recommends to start getting if you like, for new comic book readers, to start getting all these with these different characters. Because of the new Superman movie, I started reading comics. So yeah, James Gunn apparently recommended these right here. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, Authority, of course. You know, he's posted already Wonder Woman Historia, Strange Adventures. I'm sure that's going to actually be coming, like, going to be a thing. Watchmen, of course, he's like a big fan of Watchmen. He's giving praise to what Zach did with Watchmen as well. And then, of course, you know, the Peacemaker cast, he posted this. What's their top 3 superheroes in the DC
Rank my
universe?
top 3 favorite superheroes from the DC universe. Peacemaker #1.
Superman. He's just such an iconic superhero.
I definitely have to go #1 Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Gotta say Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. He's human, just
There
like
might be
the
a
rest of
bias
us.
there.
Flawed. A lot of superheroes are flawed, but Peacemaker's very flawed.
My number 2 would probably be Raven from Teen Titans.
See, that's a random choice.
2, Superman.
Superman.
Peacemaker. Batman is awesome.
There you
Number
go.
3, Supergirl.
Constantine. So he's got
Superman. It's just classic.
Judo Master
Batman
guys.
I've always loved. Wonder Woman, Batgirl. It's really hard. It depends on what day you're talking to me.
Rank my top.
See, I agree with that. I don't know how many times when people go like, "What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie in this genre? What's your favorite?" I'm like, depends on the day. You know, it's very hard to just be like, this is my top 10 list or this is my top 5. I'm like, again, I don't know how many times I've said it when it comes to the ultimate GOATs, when it comes to my favorite superhero movie, which is it's like Dark Knight, Batman Begins. They can switch. That's right. When everybody's like, oh, Dark Knight's greatest thing, greatest movie ever when it comes to the superhero genre. Yeah, I'll sometimes go, Batman Begins better, depending on the mood. I'm like, sometimes it's just, when I watch it, I go, yeah, this is like the fucking best movie ever. And that's what's so great about it, because Christopher Nolan, he directed both of those movies, and they don't have similar tones. They're different in a way. In a way, there's still that Christopher Nolan touch, but they're different in a way. Just like what Zach did with Man of Steel and BVS. It's like different kind of ways to shoot them a little bit. Different kind of almost tones. You gotta love that when it comes to directors. Okay, so let's talk about the main topic here. Let's talk about the Superman costume. That's right. Superman without the chonies, guys. That's right. I don't know how many times I've talked about this. It's always like an argument, always part of the discourse. This is right up there when it comes to the Batman kills discourse. It was just always a thing, especially leading up to Superman. It's kind of relaxed a little bit because, now we have a Superman that's got the trunks. The trunks are here to stay. It is there. It's been explained why they're here. David Cornsweet talking about, he's kind of dressing kind of crazy, looks almost like a wrestler because he doesn't want to look threatening because essentially he could just wipe everybody out. But obviously when it comes to modern day, it just seems like the trunks would not work. And we actually have our image because we know that James Gunn was not going to use the trunks. He was trying to make it work just like Zack was trying to make it work when it came to Man of Steel, but he couldn't. But he was just like, it's not going to work. So we actually have an image right here, a little mock-up that they had. Boom! That's what they had at one point, and you can even see David Cornsweet with the just the jumpsuit part of it without the underwear. So we have a yellow belt. That's right there, and no undies. So yeah, that doesn't look that bad. I would say the only thing that's needed is there does need to be some red in that belt or somewhere around there. Add a little bit of red and you're good. I wish we could have a full-on shot. I wonder if James Gunn's actually going to post it. But I'm not a trunks guy. I will say, though, I'm used to the trunks now. I saw the movie 3 times and, of course, seeing all the images and everything like that. Now I'm like, okay, I get it. It works. It's fine. Totally understand. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. I get it. Like when people are like, I get it. Like people like are just, there's some people like, people are getting, we need underwear, man. We need underwear. It should be a crime if there's no underwear. I mean, I get it. There's those people. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, relax a little bit. You wear your underwear outside of your freaking clothes when you go out. But yeah, so that was released because on Instagram, they were showing, and then this is kind of funny too, because I don't know how many times we kind of made fun of the fact that when we first saw the Superman costume, and it was just like, it's like a leather jacket. It's like, they're using the same costume designer that was used in Marvel Studios, and I think worked on Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like, is they're kind of taking like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, and then you see this shot right here, that looks like a leather jacket. It's like, is that what it was based off of? It's like, okay, so we were kind of right. Right there. So posting some of the images, and then of course there's the full shot right there. But you can see Cornsweet actually in the thing. This is like a digital mock-up. But that's what was being shown, and then showing like a little animation of how they were doing that with the texture and everything. So that's pretty cool. And then showing like the different stuff right here. There's that leather jacket. And there's the close-up of that texture right there. And then showing like a video of everything. And of course, when they were designing it. Pretty interesting. There's more of that leather jacket. And then the different panels. Pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see that in the behind the scenes. But there he was. There he was, all up in that without the chones. Like I said, the only thing that needed was it's just a yellow belt. There needed to be like some red. Like maybe they could have not have an S like they did in Superman Returns, not have like the S on the belt buckle, but they could have had something, maybe the shape, the diamond right there could have been there, and then maybe that could have been red or had the outline of red. But if you added some red right there, I think it would have really worked. And I'm wondering if there was something like that. Because again, James Gunn even said he wasn't going to go with the trunks. He was like, I don't think it would work. And he said he asked Zack, and if you go back to the behind the scenes of Man of Steel, Zack was trying to make the trunks work. I know, all the people who are like, diaper man. It's like, the guy that you fucking are obsessed with, that I don't know if you're obsessed with, but you claim to be obsessed with. That guy was trying to put the diapers on his Superman costume, but of course it didn't work. But he was pro trunks, you fucking idiots. But of course, they'll never, that's what those guys like to do. They like to ignore the fact that, certain things, if they didn't like it, Zack didn't say it. It's like, no, he said that. He definitely said that, so I don't know what to tell you right there. But I'm wondering if we're going to get like a full shot. I would not be surprised if James Gunn posts like a full shot. Like, here's what it would have looked like without Trunks at one point. This is what we almost went with. I hope he does. That would be pretty sweet. So there you go. That's it, guys. That's it when it comes to DCU stuff. That's it when it comes to DCU stuff. Now off to Spider-Man. Oh boy. This stuff just keeps on giving. Just keeps on giving. And I'm telling you, okay, so is anybody getting like a little deja vu when it comes to these Spider-Man set photos? Anybody getting a little deja vu back when Daredevil Born Again was being shot? Remember when we were getting like set images of that and they looked goddamn professional? They looked clean. Like, I was going, wait a minute, is there like a professional photographer on set that is taking pictures and then they're just throwing them up online? And I'm like going, that's actually smart. That's how you build up excitement. And you have crystal clear images of Charlie Cox in the costume. That actually works because it was building up hype. And I'll tell you what, now this image right here, so we have this image right here, and just this image right here, this is undoctored right here, an undoctored image, but my God, the aura of Spider-Man right here, it's so fucking perfect. Look at that shot. Look at it. I mean, obviously, yeah, there's some filters maybe that was added, but look at that. That is so fucking beautiful. So goddamn beautiful. Look at that shot. You get his entire back. The costume looks great. And you got people all around him. He's centered. The blur. That's so cool. That's so freaking cool. My God. Now, somebody took it upon themselves to remove the cameras and remove the cables just to make it a little bit more bonerific. Bam. So that's even more of an aura when it comes to Spider-Man. So good on whoever did all that. Obviously, you can easily do that with your phone and remove all the stuff. I was like, good Lord, that looks so cool. That could be a poster. That could be a fucking poster right there. 100%. But the biggest thing, yeah, somebody actually made it a poster. Look at that. Somebody made it a poster, of course. Naturally, somebody was going to turn that into a poster. Yep, of course. Of course they were going to make it a poster. All right, so let's see. Let's get some video in here. Let's get some video. Of course. I can't find, what the hell, man? I tell you, okay, no, I posted it, so let me just get the video. But, all right. We got some practical shit that's happening with Spider-Man Brand New Day. And that's good because, hey, we like practical shit. Try to do as much practical as possible. Obviously, when it came to some of the previous Spider-Man movies, it was just, there's a lot of CGI. A lot of CGI, and a lot of people are worried about the CGI. But when it comes to some web-slinging, they were going hardcore when it comes to practical web-slinging. Look at this. We got that truck, and he is swinging back and forth, and that's not it, though. He's swinging back and forth. We're going to get some pretty cool shots right here. Boom. Getting some what the hell? This looks like a stunt show. I mean, good Lord, look at that. That explosion. Boom. Oh. Man, that looks pretty good. That looks so good. And of course, people were posting about that and just like losing. I mean, we got some still shots of that. I mean, we got stuff like this. I mean, look at how cool that looks. That looks like a shot from the movie already. Look at that. Oh, man. And people were giving shit to John Watts because apparently he had a quote. There was like a quote going around of John Watts basically saying that he was saying like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You can't do practical. You have to do it like VFX. Even though if you actually look at like No Way Home and stuff like that, there was actual practical web slinging shots. I don't know what the hell. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful. And then this was like a funny image that was going around right here. So you have like the stunt Spider-Man guy and there's these guys looking out the window. and he's just looking right at him. I mean, that's so Spider-Man right there. So Spider-Man. But again, like the cable, like the technology for that has gotten so better that you can actually do that kind of stuff. You can actually do that. I mean, I wonder how much like Tom Holland is actually trying to do when it comes to it, because obviously, sorry, I'm telling you, I don't know if it's like the pollen in the air or something like that. It's affecting me. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why I even said the pollen. Gesundheit to me. But I'm wondering how much like how much Tom Holland is actually going to try to do some of that stuff. I don't think the going back and forth like that was not Tom Holland. But then again, what if it was? That would have been crazy if it was. And then I'd be like, kudos to Tom Holland, but I don't think that was Tom Holland. I think that was definitely his stuntman. But it's just cool. It's cool to see that practicality. It's cool to see all the stuff. So there you go. Some practical web-slinging action when it comes to Spider-Man Brand New Day. All right, who's going to the movies this weekend? We got 2 movies. We got a sequel to a remake of a remake. Obviously Freakier Friday, but then we got Weapons, and that's the movie I'm seeing. I think I maybe saw Freaky Friday once. I don't know if I did. I think I might have. It came out so long ago. I don't have any desire to watch Freakier Friday. That's a no for me. But hey, it'll probably win the box office this weekend for sure. So let's see where it's at when it comes to reviews. Come on, you stupid thing. There we go. 77, it's already certified fresh. There we go. Freakier Friday doesn't reinvent the original story so much as it swaps the formula around for a frothy good time, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan easily slipping back into roles that fit them. With mixed and matched gloves. Jesus. Sorry, my nose is just going crazy, just like it was on Monday. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to start shooting? Well, your nose is going to get a little itchy and run a little bit. Man, tell you, maybe it's something from Laughlin is trying to get me. All right, let's read some of these reviews. We got a bad one right off the start. Why not? Let's start with a bad one. A barrage of ageism. It doesn't shock me. With Jamie Lee Curtis mocking how horrific her wrinkled-filled old face and body look for laughs. Has our timeline also been swapped in 2003? It's played. It's tired. They should have kept this in the Disney vaults. Jeez, she sounds like fun, doesn't she? Jamie Lee Curtis is funny, and Lindsay Lohan deserves a bigger and better work. Chad Michael Murray still makes audiences swoon. Julia Butters is a rising star. And Disney were stupid to not move forward with that reboot of Lizzie McGuire. That's not going to happen. I was like, no, Hilary Duff's not in this. It's a worthwhile trip to the theater, one that shows the continuing power of nostalgia that Hollywood will continue to take advantage of for years to come. Freakier Friday is an energetically comical addition to a growing franchise and a blueprint for legacy sequel to exist. So there you go. Freakier Friday. That's cool. People will have fun with it. I just love that. It's like, this is ageism. And right off the bat, it's like, good Lord. I didn't choose the top critics. Sorry. Then we got Weapons, and a lot of people are waiting for Weapons. I was waiting for Weapons as soon as I heard the story about this, and then saw the trailer. And then, of course, I'm a Zach Cregger fan. I'm totally loving what he's got, what he's been putting out there. 96% certified fresh with 82 reviews. Zach Cregger spins an expertly crafted yarn of terrifying mystery and thrilling intrigue in Weapons, a sophomore triumph that solidifies his status as a master of horror. That's what you want to hear right there. All right, let's look at some of these right here. When a suburban chiller turns into a gruesome Stephen King meets slasher masterpiece, Weapons delivers its killer blow. Because the characters are nicely established with specific quirks and obsessions, the extreme gross-out yuckiness is balanced by both emotion and blackly comical absurdity. It's the deft way in which Cregger goes from juggling those tones, the serious and the silly, the panic-provoking and the laughter-inducing, that makes Weapons such a refreshingly entertaining triumph. It's a creepy, nasty good time with scares that will make audiences jump in their seats and a few that will leave them profoundly unsettled. It's a distressing film that arguably bests Zach Cregger's terrific debut, Barbarian, in a disturbing dread, anxiously unsettling mood and visual bravura that's still deceptively subtle. All right, where's that bad review? All right, William, what do you got to say from the Wrap top critic? What Cregger's getting at seems a lot less frightening and a lot more contrived than it would have had he not invited us to ponder more powerful possibilities for over an hour before tipping his hand. So apparently he didn't like how when you finally find things out. Maybe he wanted something more a little bit crazier, and Zach Cregger's like, no, it's not going to be as crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what he wanted. He doesn't look like a happy guy either. So there you go. We got some good movies coming to the box office. Go to the movies. Have some fun. I'm seeing Weapons tomorrow. Look forward to my first reaction review, of course. I'll be posting that. And then, of course, I'll do my full review on the Vodka stream on Friday. All right. And let's just wrap this up with some Thor. With Thor's hammer. And this is pretty stupid. I mean, like I said, I was like, what's my fourth topic going to be? I was going, I was not even going to have a fourth topic, to be honest. But I was like, all right, let's talk about this. We'll talk about this. Where the fuck? Oh, shit. I don't think I retweeted it. Because I thought, oh, okay, I didn't retweet it. Let me see here. Chris Hemsworth. Yes, that. There we go. Right there. Okay, so after Avengers Doomsday was announced and Chris Hemsworth was like, I think the first chair, and it's kind of been revealed that he is basically, I think he's credited second. I don't know exactly who's first, but apparently he's going to be credited second. So Thor is going to be a heavy presence, obviously, in Avengers Doomsday. And obviously when it came to, when it comes to like, I guess you could say like, when it comes to Chris Hemsworth, he posted something that a lot of people were going, oh my God, Thor's going to die. And that's immediately, he put a heartfelt message out there with like a video, kind of just, sorry. God, my nose is just running like crazy. Jesus. He put a heartfelt video out there that was just kind of like thanking the fans and talking about his journey because, I mean, the character made him. And he said many times he will play it till they don't want him to play it anymore. But when people said that, like he's been playing it for 15 years and blah, 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 and doing all this, everybody, instead of just people going, oh, that's nice, Chris, you made a nice little tribute to the character and to the fans, and everybody's going, Thor's going to die. Thor's going to die. He's dead. Doomsday, he's dying. And I'm just kind of going, Jesus Christ, guys, can we pump the brakes a little bit? I made fun of it. And I'm like going, he's just thanking people. But then I was like, well, maybe he will die. But then he clarified it with this message. Playing Thor has been one of the greatest honors of my life for the last 15 years. I've held the I can't even say that. And then Stormbreaker as God of Thunder, and that made me feel truly special. Was sharing it with all of you. Your passion, your cheers, and your love for this character have meant everything to me. Thank you for making my journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe unforgettable. Next up, obviously that's the original one. So Hollywood Reporter says, no, it definitely got misconstrued and perceived in a different way. So he saw when people were like, Jesus Christ, he's going to die. He's not going to play the character anymore. He was just like, no, that got misconstrued. But I mean, when I saw that too, I was like, nah, he's just like 15 years. He's about to go into this one. I mean, let's relax, people. Pump the freaking brakes, I tell you. But people, of course, just start freaking out and doing all the things and whatnot. So, but there you go. I'm glad that he was like, yeah, I'll play this character till he's 90. So, don't worry, guys. I don't think, maybe Thor's not going to die. But maybe he is. And then Kevin Feige was like, dude, people think you're going to die because of what you posted. What the hell are you doing? Can you, clarify that, please? Please? So then, people are not going to go into the movie thinking you're going to die. But, we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, that's it. that is it for today's Film Junkie Not So Live. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like, thumbs up. I'm not going to be doing a members-only stream after this. Like I said, going to be out to dinner with Mama Film Junkie because, again, wish her a happy birthday. Today is her official birthday, so no members-only stream. DC Fanimated is still happening. It is also a pre-recorded, so that'll also be premiering during its normal time as well. I should be back for that one, so I'll be in the chat if you guys want to chat during that. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want to support the channel. I do a post show after every Monday. I'm trying to bring back my Sunday podcast that I used to do, my standalone podcast. I'm trying to bring that back, and you know, like I said, you get all my videos and clips ad-free. You get that on there first, on on your own little personal thread or whatever the hell. So check that out. And yeah, members will do a members only stream last week. I know last week for some reason this stuff wasn't working too well, so I don't know what's going on. Anyways, guys, love ya, and I'll talk to you later.